total solar eclipse.
Good morning to you. I am meteorologist Stephanie Abrams live in Madras, Oregon for you. Welcome to live coverage of the total solar eclipse.
How about being on a cruise ship? And that's where Dave Malkoff is right now, waiting for the eclipse to exit the East Coast. Hi, Dave.
Hi, good morning. We are full steam ahead, and when I say that, we have all the generators going, all the engines going, because we got to get away from the remnants of that 92L that was just popping up around and sending clouds on top of us. We don't want to have clouds on top of us, so the good thing is we've got this huge cruise ship, the Oasis of the Seas, and we can actually move away from the clouds, but still in the path of totality. The original plan was to go about 200 miles offshore. Now we are going to about 400 plus miles offshore because we want to find a place that is clear sky and we can move the ship around and position the sun exactly where all these thousands of people, about 3,000 people on board, can see the eclipse as it happens in totality and look up in the sky and see that. Not only that, but they're going to have DNCE performing down there, and then Bonnie Tyler is going to sing Total Eclipse of the Heart. We just heard her do an amazing sound check. We talked to her earlier this morning, and she's in great spirits. Got here on a red-eye flight from the Middle East. But you know, you guys, we're going to have to trade these sunglasses for these. Stephanie Abrams, you are in the middle of where the dream of the 90s is alive in Portland and all throughout Oregon. Stephanie, do you know that you're not too far away from the Prineville data center for Facebook? I'm thinking a lot of activity is going to be going through that data center today.
It is, and on social media, you can follow all of us on social media. I'm Stephanie Abrams on Snapchat. I'm Stephanie TWC, but Instagram, and see what's happening behind the scenes in order to prepare for an event this big. By the way, we will start to see the first contact here in Madras in about 34 minutes at 9:06 local time.
Our own Dave Malkoff, he picked the good straw. He is on the waters, off the waters of the Atlantic for this historic event on a cruise ship.
Well, if you watch the path of totality, it comes right off of South Carolina and then just goes out into the open ocean. Nobody's there, right? We've got 8,500 people right here. The last place on Earth where humans will get to see the Great American Eclipse will be over the rolling waves of the Atlantic. The sun's spectacular corona will start its visibility ride in Oregon and speed across the United States towards South Carolina, heading southeast over the sea. The Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas cruise ship has already set sail from Florida to meet up with the final part of the path of totality.
It's right in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle during a full eclipse. It should be terrifying, but it'll be fun.
By mid-afternoon, about 2 hours before totality, then 1 hour before total darkness, Bonnie Tyler herself on board will sing
Total Eclipse of the Heart.
just after 3 p.m. Eastern Time. An even bigger show begins with the biggest star of them all, our own sun. Each passenger was handed eclipse glasses as they got on board.
I can see nothing.
Totally dark.
Wow.
I can't either.
We were at the Kennedy Space Center, so we watched there about the eclipse, everything.
So they showed the 3D movie there about the eclipse.
This massive ship, this floating city, is America's way to wave bon voyage to the event of the summer. The next Great American Eclipse sweeps from Texas to Maine on April 8th, 2024. Relatively speaking, that's not too long from now, but on this day, right under this eclipse, we have a great advantage. We can navigate to the space where you can see clear skies, and it looks pretty good so far. On board the Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas, somewhere in the Atlantic, I'm Dave Malkoff, the Weather Channel.
Ah, looks beautiful there, Dave.
And we're not only on the land, we're also going by sea and air. We have Dave Malkoff, who's on a cruise ship off the southeast coast with Bonnie Tyler, who will be singing Total Eclipse of the Heart during their totality at 3:08 Eastern Time. And then we also have a team that is aboard an Alaska Airlines flight that is flying at 30,000 feet, and so we'll get that perspective of this eclipse. Here we go, guys. We're heading into totality. Everybody enjoy it. Yeah, you see it coming out on the other side. Oh, it just is. Wow. Oh, it's emotional. I can't explain why, but it is. We had tears, we had screams, we had fireworks during totality, but it just took my breath away, the whole thing. It's really cool that you can see the corona and you see the sun kind of spewing out from behind the moon. It literally took our breath away for a while, so I'm so excited for everyone to experience this. And of course, you have to wear the glasses again now that we're out of totality, but got really dark down here. Just look how spectacular that is on the TV screen. The light is starting to come back to us now. Wow, that is something that's really special. And we're all really fortunate to be alive and where we are today so that we can see it. But that was really cool.
And that includes over the water as well. Our own Dave Malkoff is on a cruise ship in the Atlantic.
Well, if you watch the path of totality, it comes right off of South Carolina and then just goes out into the open ocean. Nobody's there, right? We've got 8,500 people right here. The last place on Earth where humans will get to see the Great American Eclipse will be over the rolling waves of the Atlantic. The sun's spectacular corona will start its visibility ride in Oregon and speed across the United States towards South Carolina, heading southeast over the sea. The Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas cruise ship has already set sail from Florida to meet up with the final part of the path of totality.
It's right in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle during a full eclipse. It should be terrifying, but it'll be fun.
By mid-afternoon, the ship will come to a full stop as the partial eclipse begins. Pop supergroup DNCE will take the stage about 2 hours before totality. Then, 1 hour before total darkness, Bonnie Tyler herself on board will sing Total Eclipse of the Heart. Just after 3 p.m. Eastern Time, an even bigger show begins with the biggest star of them all, our own sun. Each passenger was handed eclipse glasses as they got on board.
I can see nothing.
Totally dark. Wow. I can't either.
We were at the Kennedy Space Center, so we watched there about the eclipse, everything.
So they showed the 3D movie there about the eclipse.
This massive ship, this floating city, is America's way to wave bon voyage to the event of the summer. The next Great American Eclipse sweeps from Texas to Maine on April 8th, 2024. Relatively speaking, that's not too long from now, but on this day, right under this eclipse, we have a great advantage. We can navigate to the space where you can see clear skies, and it looks pretty good so far. On board the Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas, somewhere in the Atlantic, I'm Dave Malkoff, the Weather Channel.
All right, it does look pretty good so far there, but we've got to look elsewhere where
We have Dave Malkoff. We have Dave Malkoff in the Atlantic. Dave, I'm so glad that I'm getting a chance to toss to you so that I can just cry like a baby. That was spectacular, spectacular. And I wish the same for you.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what you. I thank you so much. I can't wait to see what you saw. And I am here with 8,500 of my dearest friends on the Atlantic. We are very far out. We're about 400 miles out, and we thought we were going to be 200 miles out. We're 400 plus at this point because we're trying to get away from the cloud cover. We do have a bit of wispy clouds, but as I put my glasses on, I can see we've got just a sliver left. We have a live camera here on the ship where you can actually see through the solar filter what I am looking at right now. This is the last part of the eclipse before the moon's mountains push over to the edge, and you'll see that starry kind of ending to it. And then what? I have no idea, because I haven't seen this before. I mean, everybody in the United States has seen this, but this group of people here on the ship, we have no idea what we're going to see. We hear about it, we see video of it, but the thing is, camera technology isn't the exact same thing as your eyes, and your eyes are way better at sensing light and sensing depth than any kind of camera, any kind of 3D, 4K, 5K, 8K camera could possibly be. We're just not there yet in camera technology. So what you're seeing on television really doesn't translate to what your eyes will see. And I'm just saying this from just experience from what I heard from Stephanie, and then everybody across the country all the way over to Jen in South Carolina. And a lot of people are just getting started for this. This is just incredible. We have DNCE here, over here. That's a Joe Jonas, formerly of the Jonas Brothers. We've also got Bonnie Tyler, who's right over there. This is a huge party right on the aft end of the ship. This is the last eclipse party for the entire world for the Great American Eclipse. We are just moments away, and through a miracle of modern technology, we are going to bring you live to the Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas cruise ship right here. Now let's, as we just look up at this, I can tell you, I'm not seeing anything right now because we've just got a cloud cover. So, but I bet you as soon as that big cloud pushes over, you're going to hear a cheer from the people in the crowd. What are you seeing? Nothing right now.
Nothing right now. Nothing.
And what did you see before that big cloud pushed over?
Well, I believe we're going to be seconds or maybe minutes away from going into the total eclipse. Still a little bit of the sun. You saw left. So.
Have you ever seen one before?
Nope, never, first time.
So you have no idea what you're going to see?
No.
Hopefully darkness.
It's really incredible. Hey, you guys, we're going to go to break here, and then we're going to come back with the totality, the last totality in the entire world of the Great American Eclipse, live here on the Weather Channel, coast to coast, solar system wide. Just a sliver left, everybody. This is live team coverage across the nation, across the solar system of this total solar eclipse going all across the United States. But we ain't there. Hold on a second. Just move to the side just for a second. Sorry about that. Everybody's trying to take a picture. We aren't in the United States. We are about 400 miles outside of there. We are on the Atlantic Ocean on a cruise ship. This is the Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas cruise ship. And we set sail yesterday from Florida, and we have been cooking it. Just all engines going as fast as possible. The meteorologist is basically steering the ship. He's telling the captain where to go to get away from the clouds. We do have a little bit of cloud cover up here, but we've got some high wispy clouds over the sun. The thing is, that really pushes through with these solar glasses. I can see clearly. I can even see the top of the mast here, and I can see the last sliver of the sun coming through. But you know who knows a lot more about this? Space expert Pamela Gay, who's joining us live, and she can tell us exactly what we're going to see. Now, we are right in the middle of the Atlantic. If you draw a line from Daytona Beach eastward, and you draw a line from Haiti northward, that's where we are. So just take out your map and draw those lines on there, and that's where we are, 450 miles out. So we are just moments away, right, Pamela?
You're moments away. You're going to have a slightly shorter eclipse totality than we had here. But where you are, it's perfectly flat. You're on the surface of the sea, so clearly you're at sea level. And in that position, you'll be able to see, hopefully, the shadow racing across the ocean. You'll see when you look up towards the sun, wearing your safety glasses, those Bailey's beads, that diamond ring effect, and then that magical bit, the corona appearing. It's actually a magnetic bit. No magic, just science.
When you say diamonds and beads, you're talking about mountains and valleys on the moon, right?
I am. There's this moment when our not actually spherical moon, our lumpy, bumpy mountain and crater covered moon, is not quite blocking all of the sun's light, and we get glints of light, rays passing through the impact valleys, between the mountains, and those final rays that aren't quite blocked put on this amazing fireworks display for us.
Well, Pamela, what do you say? Let's talk to the folks who are here on the ground and finding out what an eclipse looks like for the first time. And let's just push in through here, and as we walk through here, let's talk to you guys. How's it looking?
It's pretty cool.
What do you see?
Very small crescent moon right now.
Just the last part of the sun.
It looks amazing. It's a great experience.
Just this part looks amazing, right?
Yes, it is. It's very exciting.
And folks at home, you are looking live at what we are seeing through a camera that's focused on the sun and the moon. And have you ever seen anything like this before? Were you around for this one in the 70s?
No. Well, yeah, I was around. I just wasn't coherent enough to see it, no.
So you've never seen this, and you don't know what it's going to be like. It's going to get dark. We're going to see space.
We're very excited.
Yeah. Where are you guys from?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. So you wouldn't have been able to see the full eclipse.
Exactly. Just by chance, we're on the cruise.
You know what's amazing is that, thank you so much, you guys, that about 220 million people live within a day's drive of this total eclipse path. We didn't have to drive. We have a ship at sea where we can go wherever the heck we want to go. And that is where we went, to the prime spot right here in the ocean, keeping an eye on the sky. There is just nothing left of that. We are going to stay on this short break here. Don't be worried. We will come back in just a moment where we will show you the best part of this, the corona, live throughout the solar system. This is the Weather Channel.
Yet to begin in the Atlantic Ocean, so I want to get right to Dave Malkoff, who is on an ocean liner, of course, for the next stop along the path. Hi, Dave.
Everybody's groaning. Oh, my goodness. Maria, you'll hear everybody groaning because a big, thick cloud just went over part of the sun, but then it pushed over. As you hear Dark Side of the Moon playing in the background from Pink Floyd, it is still there. But we had a moment where everyone, as you were tossing to me, was screaming, no, because we are dealing with the remnants of 92L, and it's sending a little bit of cloud cover over us, but we are just on the sliver point right here. It is getting significantly darker around here as everybody screams as they see little pieces of this cloud cover come over. I can see a break in the cloud cover over there, so hopefully we'll get into that break as fast as we can. We were going full steam ahead to this spot at this point. You know what? I just talked to an astronaut, Tracy Caldwell Dyson, who has been up to space at least 2 times. She's been to the International Space Station twice, and she told me this very emotional story of what it's like to look at space. And she says that it's nothing like you could ever imagine on Earth. It's something other than this world. And there's light that you just don't get a glimpse of here on Earth. And there are ways that the stars look to you. You can see the 3D nature of stars. And that's kind of what we're going to get a look at here as we talk to our space expert in Nashville, and we bring them in. Now, explain to me, what are we going to see, Mr. Sutter, when this actually happens, when we take a look at what space actually looks like that astronauts only get to see?
Oh yeah, it's going to be a beautiful view for you. When it's nice and dark there, you'll have 4 planets visible. You'll have Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, and Venus, some bright stars, and winter constellations. Constellations you can only see in the wintertime will be visible to you as you approach totality and during totality. And then, of course, the star of the show, the solar corona, the hot, thin atmosphere of the sun, will surround the moon in a gorgeous display.
You know what's the craziest thing is that the corona of the sun, the outer atmosphere about 1,300 miles up, is 1 million degrees, just under 1 million degrees, but the surface temperature of the sun is not that hot. It's about 10,000 degrees, so nobody really knows why that's happening, why there's this million-degree temperature in the outer atmosphere and the cooler temperature, cooler relatively speaking, on the surface of the sun. But that outer atmosphere, that hot plasma, is what we're going to see here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The solar corona is one of the least understood parts of the sun. We know more about the nuclear core in the center of the sun than we do about the corona itself. And you're absolutely right. It has a temperature of a few million Kelvin, while the surface itself is only a few thousand Kelvin. And we're not exactly sure how that solar corona is able to get so hot. It probably has something to do with magnetic fields and acceleration of particles off of the surface, but the physics there is poorly understood. If you are a solar researcher, you are very interested in the solar corona to understand this is something in our own backyard that we don't fully understand.
It's a hydrogen to helium generator that we got going up there.
That's right. Our sun is a raging nuclear furnace powered by gravity, powered by the collapse of the massive weight of the sun itself. All that stuff, the hydrogen pressing in, squeezes hydrogen atoms together to form helium. That fusion process releases a little bit of energy that gives us all the light from the sun, is able to power it for billions of years. And ultimately, that's what powers the corona as you approach totality. When you see these thin wisps surrounding the moon, the energy for that ultimately comes from the nuclear fire in the core of the sun.
Amazing, and it takes a long time, long time for those photons to get from the inner part of the sun out to the outer part of the sun. But once they pop out, it only takes 8 minutes for that photon, which are light particles, to get all the way to us and light up your face. So it takes a long time for it to get outside, and then boom, it's 8 minutes coming at the speed of light at us. And this is what we're seeing. This is the last sliver. If you take a look from our live camera, we are live here. If you're just joining us on a cruise ship, it is very, very dark outside here, and we can already see Dancing in the Dark. You hear that in the background? That's their song that they're playing. Some Bruce Springsteen for you. That's one I didn't think of. We have a whole playlist here, but they're playing Dancing in the Dark here. What we're going to see here is something that you don't see anywhere else in the solar system, because the sun may be 400 times further away than the Earth, but the moon is 400 times, or the sun may be 400 times bigger than the moon, but the moon is actually 400 times closer. So that optical illusion makes these two disks look like they are the exact same size. And as this goes into almost darkness, we're getting some cloud cover over here, but we are seeing almost nighttime. We're going to shut up here and let you just enjoy this, the last part of the solar eclipse all across this country. still keep your glasses off because of the cloud cover we've got here. So that may have not given us the greatest view of the corona, but we definitely saw it. We definitely saw the black spot inside there. I'm still staring up at it because we've got such thick cloud cover right now, and I don't see anybody with glasses on, really. Just a few people slowly putting their glasses on as we get brighter and brighter. The full sunset. Now I can see the side of the sun coming out of the moon's shadow. The moon, once again, is 400 times closer than the sun. And the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon. That is a cosmic coincidence. That's an amazing mathematical thing that only happens in this blip of time that we live here in the Earth's atmosphere here. Paul Sutter, the Earth and the moon are actually separating from each other just by a matter of inches every year. So if you went back in time to dinosaur times, you would see the moon would be much bigger, and you wouldn't be able to get this kind of solar eclipse. And if you went millions of years into the future, you wouldn't be able to see this either, because the moon will be too far away to cover up the entire disk of the sun, and you wouldn't be able to see the corona. You would still see the sun. So not only is it cool that we're here, it's also cool that we are here in this moment, Paul Sutter. We've got a location and a time that this only happens once, every couple million years in the solar system. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was talking to Paul Sutter, trying to set him up with talking about how the Earth and the Moon are moving away from each other slowly, and at no other time in Earth's history, except for this million or so years that we're in right now, is the sun, is the Earth and the Moon in the exact right position, and the Moon is just the right size to cover up just the outer part of the sun, and so we just see that corona coming through. That's just a cosmic coincidence there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We live at just the right time. Millions of years ago, tens of millions of years ago, the moon was much closer to the Earth, so it appeared larger on the sky. And simultaneously, the sun was smaller. As our sun ages, it slowly gets larger. And so over time, they eventually match each other. Now we live at just the right time, astronomically speaking, of course, where they have almost the exact same size on the sky. And over the course of the next few 100 million years, the moon will continue to recede and get smaller while the sun gets larger as it ages, and then no more total solar eclipses. So we've got a few 100 million more years to enjoy eclipses. So I would soak it up while you still can.
Buzz Aldrin was saying earlier this week that it occurred to him that he's seen plenty of solar eclipses, being one of the only 24 human beings in the history of this planet who have ever been beyond low Earth orbit. So as he goes around the other side of the moon, he kind of sees a solar eclipse there as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Eclipses like we have here on Earth are very, very rare in practically the entire galaxy. You go to any other planet in the solar system, and the sizes of the moons compared to the size of the sun just isn't going to give you an eclipse. And so here on Earth, we get a very special view of these solar eclipses. And then you can also, if you go beyond the orbit of the moon, you can look back. I believe NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which is in orbit around the moon right now, is snapping some pictures of the eclipse, gathering some data for itself. Without artificial methods, without doing launches and satellites and actually going up into space, the only way to enjoy an eclipse in our entire solar system is right here on Earth and being at the right place at the right time.
And we are here at the right place at the right time. I saw somebody walking up here. We've got a family who's all wearing eclipse shirts. You've got total solar eclipse. It is glow in the dark.
Glow in the dark shirts.
Let me hear about what you just saw. What was that?
Solar eclipse.
What did it look like?
It looked really fun.
It looked funny? Oh my goodness, I thought it looked funny too. I thought it looked, because it's funny to see that. I didn't think that the moon could gobble up the sun like that.
Let's say it.
Yes.
You saw what?
The totality. The totality.
Totality. How old are you?
5.
She's 5, and how old are you?
3.
3? And you're? How old?
2.
2. She's 2. And you?
No, she's 2.
She's 2, and you're?
4.
And you'll be able to see another one in 2024, you guys.
Yes.
How cool was that?
We're already planning a Chilean adventure in 2019.
Oh, 2019, you're going down there, and then in Mexico starting in 2024, then sweeping through Texas, all the way up through Ohio and the Great Lakes, and then going out Maine.
Yep, we're going to check that one out too. Yep.
That is just amazing. Where are you guys from?
Northern Fairfax, Virginia, Fairfax Station.
Okay, so the DC area.
Yes.
And what was there something just spiritual about this? Something amazing?
It's a once in a lifetime experience.
Well, twice in a lifetime when they go back a couple times. We're going to go to break. We are still here on the ship with all the eclipse folks. We'll see you right after this. Good job, you guys.
Somebody who's not even doing 30 miles an hour, but boy, what a life out there on the Atlantic. Dave Malkoff. Dave, I didn't catch what you saw. Did you have a clear sky? Because I know I heard earlier that the ship was readjusting the position to get into some blue skies.
We were really trying it. The chief meteorologist here on the ship, Mike, was trying to push us in the spot where we could get outside of the realm of those horrible clouds left behind by 92L. We still had a lot of cloud cover here, but not enough to blot it all out. We had a moment where it was just incredible. The whole ship turned silent and everyone was looking at it, and then all of a sudden a cheer arose as the corona went away, and you could see those sparkles come back, and then someone put a drink in my hand. I don't even drink. And then we are sitting here and people are doing the surfboard over our shoulders. So the ship is kind of back to normal at this time. So it's an amazing experience to experience this with the only people outside of the United States who will be able to see this. And it is gone now until April of 2024. That's the next one that we're going to see sweep across the United States. That's not too far away. I just talked to Bonnie, who is singing Total Eclipse of the Heart, and she told me that she was thinking about her parents. Really cool experience here. We'll have more on the other side of this break. I'm joined by Kevin Lieber here. He is a YouTuber. You might know him from his science videos that are very popular on YouTube. You saw this with the rest of us. It's the first time you've seen it. It's the first time I've seen it. What was your difference between what you expected to see and what you actually saw?
Well, just the anticipation that I felt inside, you know, like I knew that it was going to take kind of a while. It's a long process for, you know, the moon to get in front of the sun, but just that whole anticipation and build up towards actual totality was the most exciting thing, I think.
You know, I was hearing that there's about 220 million Americans who live within a day's drive of the path of totality. So you had highways and side streets just packed for this, people trying to get there. But we brought the buffet with us, and we have a ship going with all its engines.
I know. I'm just so thankful to be part of this Royal Caribbean cruise because, yeah, we avoided all of that, and we were actually, there's a meteorologist on board here that was working with the captain.
Yeah, Jim Van Fleet.
Yeah, to find the actual, like, greatest place to view totality. So, yeah, everything about this has been awesome.
Yeah, if you live in Tampa, you know, and you watch Tampa Bay's 10, you may know Jim Van Fleet, who was the chief meteorologist there. He's now the chief meteorologist for this cruise line, and he, working with the captain, actually told them where to go to get out of the path of 92L's clouds and into the path of totality while he's dealing with all sorts of cruise ships all around the world. But he got us to a place where we could see the sun, but it wasn't completely clear. We didn't see any stars or anything.
No, we didn't. You know, when I was reading about what I would see, there were a few things missing, the shadow bands being one of them, the little shadowy snakes that you faintly would see. I missed out on those, so I'm looking forward to seeing some videos online. I'm sure people caught those someplace. And then, yeah, also the planets we missed out on. But you know what? It was still cool, and I'm really thankful to be here.
But you did see the corona, and were you excited to see that? That's something that you won't see again until 2028. And that is something just amazing. Maria was out there and didn't see the full thing. She didn't have a Stephanie Abrams moment. I wanted my Stephanie Abrams moment, but we didn't have that because of the clouds.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, you have more eclipse forecasts, so we got to find another one for you, Dave. I think I'm hooked. I think I'm officially going to be an eclipse chaser. I'm going to start making my plans for 2024. Hopefully you have plans to sit tight right here at the Weather Channel, probably coming in from your eclipse experience. Stay with us. We have a special continuing coverage. Our show continues everything that you missed and all the things that you probably didn't know about eclipses. We're going to talk about them next.